I'm Miko Halili, and welcome to The Score, where we tackle the hottest and trending topics in sports. We're nearing the half point of the NBA season, and so far a couple of old and new faces have emerged as the leading candidates for the most valuable player. Now, among the new challengers for this honor, there's the Greek Freak from Milwaukee, there's the Process from Philadelphia, the Triple-Double Machine in Denver, and then you'll have the Claw in Toronto, and OKC's PG13. Now, here to help us break down the MVP candidacies of these NBA superstars, let's bring in our analysts, Jett, Manuel, and Renren Ritualo. Happy New Year, guys!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Yeah. And since it's New Year, ibig sabihin, parang palapit na tayo sa All-Star break, and that means na yung MVP discussions are intensifying. Kasi yung pwestuhan sa standings nagiging malino na. And sakto naman, the number one team in the West right now, and I cannot remember the last time na nag-number one to sa West in my lifetime, the Denver Nuggets led by Nikola Jokic. Now, he's not one of the more popular players, pero the two of you are very familiar with his style. Why is he an MVP candidate, Jett?
Well, he's leading his team. So he's the focal point of the offense. You give it to him in the post, and he's not the typical, big man scorer. He finds his teammates a lot. He's averaging almost a triple-double. While, when was the last time you heard that Denver is actually number one? So I think that really pushed his stock to boost him in the MVP rankings.
How about you, Renren?
Well, pinapagaling niya yung mga teammates niya. That's the most important thing. He involves his teammate. Hindi lang siya kasi he can do a lot of things. He rebounds the basketball, he can score, and he can dribble and bring down that basketball. So, ang ganda pa ng court vision niya and the basketball IQ niya sobrang taas. So, that's why parang madali lang yung basketball sa kanya kasi parang slow motion lang siya, di ba? Tapos, pag ganun-ganun lang yung pasa niya, if he wants to score, he can score. So, it's the most important thing is involving his teammates.
Okay, next candidate, Kawhi Leonard of the Raptors. Unfortunately, they were blown off the court today in his return to San Antonio. But nonetheless, he's having an excellent year coming off an injured season. He's a very popular candidate because he's Kawhi Leonard, di ba, Jett?
Yeah, I mean, everyone knew coming into the season that Kawhi would have a great year in Toronto. I think people saw him to be a good fit. We just wanted to see him on the court. And for the past, for the season until today, he's been the closer for them. He's been closing out games which they couldn't do before. He's been leading his team in a way na I think hindi nagawa ni DeRozan. But I think the most important thing is talaga the way he closes the games out. And they're number 2 in the East. So he's still keeping that winning culture in Toronto while still getting his numbers, and he's just a great player.
Mga idol ni Renren to eh. Yung mga offense tsaka defense.
Ayun!
Favorite ni Renren niya eh. Yung mga kinokopya niya nung bata siya eh. No, but it's an amazing return for Kawhi considering yung mga medyo ang gulo kasi nung last season para sa kanya.
Yeah, sobrang gulo eh. Hindi ko nga alam kung injured siya talaga noon. Is he faking his injury? Kasi grabe yung pagkabalik niya this year with Toronto. Like Jett said, grabe yung impact niya with Toronto. He leads the team in offense and defensively, of course. Yung mga ginagawa niya before sa San Antonio, na hindi pala niya nagagawa sa San Antonio, nagagawa niya sa Toronto freely. Kasi yung mga step back, yung mga fancy moves, hindi mo siya makikita yung gano'n eh. Like, yung mga combo moves na ginagawa niya ngayon, hindi mo siya nakikita na ginagawa sa San Antonio Spurs. So, but now, you can see how talented he is and how athletic na hindi mo siya kayang ma-stop pag he wants to score that basketball.
Okay, ito pa isa, mga idol mo rin to. Offense and defense. Paul George of OKC. Yung mga favorite rin, mga lockdown defenders, yung mga idol ni Renren yan eh. Paul George is also having an incredible year. And alam mo, Paul George, close to becoming a perennial part of that conversation pang MVP.
He's 6'8", so athletic. Sa Indiana Pacers pa lang, makikita mo na he can be a franchise player. Itong si Paul George. Of course, he started as a defensive player, but he evolved as a offensive threat. Right now, ito si Paul George leading the way, 26 points for the OKC with Russell Westbrook there. Na sabi niya, siya pinakamagaling mag-score. mag-rebound at mag-defend sa position. But Paul George is there also. Hindi ko alam kung sino si Batman and Robin doon. But right now, the way Paul George is playing, he's the main guy there in OKC. And that's why nasa usapan siya sa MVP race.
Walang Batman and Robin doon. Basta
Ano
ang Thanos doon si Westbrook. The ultimate destroyer. Joel Embiid is another candidate, and si Joel Embiid is always a fascinating choice for MVP. Kasi just like Paul George, may teammate siya na All-Star in Westbrook. Embiid naman may teammate siya na All-Star caliber player in Ben Simmons. But si Embiid, why would it be intriguing to have him as an MVP candidate?
Well, I think the amount of talent lang that this young player has. And he's been, I think people notice him more because of how noisy he is on social media.
Yeah.
So he's averaging a double-double. And he's doing it on both ends of the floor. He's protecting the rim. He's averaging, I think, 2 or 3 blocks per game. And this guy is just the energy that the team needs. So you put that amount of talent with his height, with his body, with his skill set, and the way he's doing it on both ends of the floor. I think it's pretty early for him to win the MVP in his career. I think he still needs a little bit more maybe experience or to know the game a little bit more. But for sure he'll have a number under his belt. But right now he's just playing great basketball.
So para what you're saying is you look at Embiid, para bang it's too early in his career na parang baka they're in the same position ni Jokic siguro na para if boboto ka for MVP, you're like maybe it's not your
time.
Not your time yet. Ando si Renren hindi naniniwala din sa not your time yet. You make it your time, di ba? No, ikaw ba tingin mo yung mga MVP voters, they might consider that na maybe may seniority involved in dito.
If you're deserving, like Derrick Rose before, he's the youngest MVP ever. So if you're really deserving and you played like an MVP, but hindi mo ibibigay, it's unfair naman if he's still young, it's not his time, but he's playing so well and leading his team. So, if he deserves it, dapat siya mananalo, di ba?
Yeah, that's why you could never get along with your older your older teammates. Pag-iisip mong ganyan. Okay, so speaking of older players, we'll talk about ito yung mga laging kasama sa MVP conversation. So that's our topic when the score returns, so don't go away.